A common mistake I see in QuickBooks is that folks have set up their product or service initially to map to the wrong income account. And usually that happens because they just trusted QuickBooks or they didn't see the drop down and it's all of those individual products or services that have been put on invoices or sales receipts are mapping to the incorrect category. Okay. So, um, the way to fix that, if you get into your profit and loss statement and you're like, wait a minute, I have all this stuff that's routing to services or sale of product income or something very generic, and I really wanted them over somewhere else. Here's how you would fix that issue. Okay, so I'm just going to see, I'm in our products and services list, which we get to under sales and get paid, products and services. And this is going to be a ridiculous example, but we're going to use some of their stuff as an example, easy example. So let's say it's this gardening one. If I go over to gardening and I click edit, what this tells me is anytime we put gardening on an invoice or a receipt, it's going to put it under landscape services. Okay. Let's say we don't want that under landscape services. We want it under a different income account. So when I click this drop down, this is our chart of accounts moved over to drop down. Okay. So instead of just this generic landscape services, let's say we wanted to put it under landscape services labor. Okay. So this is a totally different account. It's a sub account of the generic landscape services, but it's considered a different account. So I'm going to change that. Now, here's where it's critical that you slow down and watch, okay? Because once you have changed an account that's you've already been putting transactions under, and you're like, I don't want it under that. I want them everything I've always done to move with into this new account. Once I select a new income account, it gives me this little box. Also update this account in historical transactions. So if you want the old transactions that were gardening, if you want to take all those historically and put them into landscape services labor instead of just landscape services, you check mark this box. You only get this box once. Okay. So if you forget to do it, then all of your old transactions are going to still stay that we're gardening on an invoice are still going to stay under just landscape services, and it would be time consuming to get all those changed. Okay, but what would do is from here on, anytime you put gardening on an invoice or receipt, it's going to put it under the landscape services labor. Okay, so if you have identified that you have products or services routing to the wrong or an income account that you don't want, you want them to go somewhere else. When you go in and you hit edit and you change the income account, slow down and pay attention because this box will pop up and you only get that one shot. So you can check mark it and then it will take all the historical ones and move them over. Okay. But you don't get it again. So you've got to make sure that you slow down, pay attention to what's going on, and make sure that box is checked if you're wanting to all your historical transactions under that gardening or whatever the product or service was to move into the new income account that you want them mapped to.